Today we're just going to talk about some basic math items that you need to know. The first thing we're going to talk about is square roots. Now, these are all perfect square roots, but I want to talk to you about why there's a positive and negative outside of the square root sign. Now, this is invisible math. Every square root sign, it's actually called a radical sign. So if y'all ever hear me, it's a say write the radical sign down. That's this little thing is a radical sign. Okay? When it's written by itself, the invisible math is that there's a 2 right here. Meaning, that's telling you what number times itself would give you the number underneath the radical sign. Are y'all with me? Now, if there's a 3 right here, what do you think it's asking? What number times itself 3 times would be under the radical sign? If there's a 4, what number times itself 4 times? So that is, we usually only deal with square roots. It's the most common, so we don't put the little 2 right there. We just put the square root sign. It's just given that that's what we're solving for. Now, I'm going to ask y'all a question y'all already know the answer to. What's the square root of 25? 5. Okay, but there's another answer. What is it? 5 times 5 is 25. There's another number times itself that's 25.
15.
Y'all got this. There is another number. Y'all think I'm lying?
25.
There's another number times itself. Negative 5 and negative 5. Very good. So, there are always 2 answers to square roots. The positive version and the negative version. 5 times 5 is 25, yes. But negative 5 times negative 5 is also 25. Now, your calculator is not going to give you both answers. It's just going to give you the positive answer. But sometimes in math, if they want both answers, they're going to put the positive and negative value. And then you would just put in your answer positive and negative. So for this one, it doesn't want you to write both. It's just, what's the square root of 49? Well, it's 7. This one says, what is the positive and negative answer to the square root of 36? So I would write, now instead of writing positive 6 and negative 6, I can simply write positive and negative 6. It just saves time. The positive and negative version of the square root of 100. Positive and negative 10. Now, do y'all all know where the square root button is on your calculator? It is in blue, right above x squared. Do y'all see it? Right here? Kind of to the upper left of 7. So you just hit blue, so second, and then square root if you need it. Everybody found it? All right. Now look at look at the next example. This one is only wanting the negative version of the square root of 4, which is going to be negative 2. This is wanting the negative square root of 121, which is negative 11. And this one wants both answers, positive and negative 20. Super easy, yes? Okay, next part. Approximate the side lengths of a square pasture that has an area of 945. So it has an area of 945. Now for rectangles, I would say length times width is equal to area. Are y'all with me? But for squares, that's really not correct. Because squares, we don't say length and width, we say side times side. So if side times side is equal to area, isn't that a number times itself? So if I already have the area, what's the opposite of squaring something? Square rooting. The opposite of squaring a number is square rooting a number. So if I have the area and I want the side lengths, all I have to do is say, well, what is the square root of 945? Well, I don't know it, so let's go put it in our calculator. And there's your answer. Now, this is called an irrational number. Square roots, I need y'all to listen, this is important. Square roots that are not perfect. These were all perfect square roots, yes? Square roots that are not perfect are called irrational. And last year, y'all learned about rational numbers. So this is the only thing that's really new for you today. Irrational numbers. They are square roots that are not perfect. There's one more irrational number. It's a famous one. Does anybody know it? Pi. Pi is famous. It's irrational because it keeps going and it never stops, okay? All right. Now on these, they were wanting you to do this without your calculator, so I'm going to show you how to do it without your calculator. But then we're just going to use our calculator, okay? So, if it asks you to approximate to the nearest integer, these are all irrational. Do y'all agree these are not perfect? Okay, the way you would do it without a calculator is you would find what two perfect square roots it's between. So, what is the perfect square roots that this is between? Does anybody know? 5 squared is, so the square root of 25 would be here, and the next one would be 6 times 6, which is the square root of 36. Do y'all agree that the square root of 32 is between the square root of 25 and the square root of 36? So this is between 5 and 6. Which one is it closer to?
Or no, 5.
Let's see. 25 to 32 is 7, and 32 to 36 is 4. Which one is it closer to? So if I'm approximating it to the nearest integer, which is a counting number, I would put it's closest to 6. So do y'all see how to do this without a calculator? We'll do one more without it, and then you can just put it in your calculator. All right. So my answer is going to be what? What square roots would be to the left and to the right of this? Well, 6 times 6 is 36, and 7 times 7 is? So it's between the square root of 36 and the square root of 49. Obviously, which one's it closer to?
49.
And the square root of 49 is? So my answer would be negative 7. Now, you could have literally just put it in your calculator and say, hey, what's the negative square root of 48? And you would say, okay, my answer is negative 7 because we're approximating to the nearest. Make sense? All right, just put the rest in your calculator. The square root of 103. What's it closer to, 10 or 11? 10. To the nearest integer, nearest whole number. What's the negative square root of 350? All right, so what's it closer to, negative 18 or negative 19? Negative 19. All right, y'all got that part? Just use your calculator, but you must round to the nearest if it asks you to. All right, next part. Write the number as a power. What's a power? It's called an exponent. So how could I write 16 as an exponent? I need a base number and an exponent. 4 squared. How do I know that? Because 4 times 4 is?
16.
So is this number written as a power? Yes. Now, if I don't know that, could I just go square root it? So I would say, okay, let's pretend I don't know the square root of 49. The square root of 49 is 7. So if I wrote it as a power, 7 squared is the same thing as 49. What's the square root of 121? So if I wrote 121 as a power, 11 squared. Okay, look to the back. Do y'all remember learning this chart in 7th grade? What was missing though? Irrational. So you had this, yes? So the only thing that's new today is irrational. What belongs in irrational? Square roots that aren't. So write it down. Square roots that aren't perfect, and one more thing, and pi. So it's the only thing new today that you didn't learn last year. Counting numbers are whole numbers. Just counting don't include 0 because you don't start counting and go 0, right? So counting would include starting with 1, and whole would start with 0. So whole numbers are the same thing as counting numbers, just counting doesn't include 0. Integers are what? Only negatives? Positive, no decimals. Positive and negative counting numbers, plus 0. And then rational numbers are all your other numbers. Your decimals, your percents, your fractions. So these are your decimals, your percents, your fractions.
Wait, did you say 0 can go in integers?
Yep. So here's, y'all know how a Venn diagram works? A Venn diagram means, like y'all see how counting is inside of whole? That means counting numbers are whole numbers. Counting numbers are integers. Because isn't counting number 1, 2, 3, 4? Isn't 1, 2, 3, 4 an integer?
No.
Yes. Counting numbers are rational and counting numbers are real. Does that make sense? But if I had like 0.25, that's not counting, that's not whole, it's not an integer, it is, and it's also a real number. So the little circles in a Venn diagram are subcategories of what is outside of it. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take this chart and check all the categories that apply. Here's how easy it is. You're going to find where it would best fit on this chart, and notice what did I leave off? So you don't even need to worry about it. Just start with whole, okay? If it's whole, it's everything but irrational. If it's integers, it's everything above it, yes? If it's rational, it's everything above it. It just cannot be both rational and irrational at the same time. They will never be the same. All right, so here we go. The square root of 100. Well, all square roots go here that aren't. Is the square root of 100 perfect?
Yes.
What is the square root of 100? Write that down. It's actually 10. Where would you put 10 on this chart? Counting, but let's pretend counting's not even there because it's not on this check mark. So it would go here. If it goes here, then it's also in. If it's an integer, it's also. And if it's rational, it's also. But it can never be. Who is this person? All right, y'all ready? The next one is the square root of 24. Is the square root of 24 perfect? If you don't know that, just put it in your calculator and you're going to see it's going to give you a crazy long decimal. So look, the square root of 24, definitely not perfect. So it's automatically, but what else is it? All irrational numbers are under the category, so but that's all it is. Negative square root 81. Put it in your calculator if you don't know it. What is the negative square root of 81? Negative 9. So is it irrational? Negative 9? No. Where would negative 9 best go on this chart? So stop. Check mark integer and everything above it. So what else is it? Rational and real. Nothing else. Negative 4/3. Integers are only positive and negative, counting and 0. Is that a counting number? Would you teach that to a kid? No, it is rational. So what else is it? If it's rational and real. So rational and real. Do y'all understand how to fill the chart out? Now we're going to take those numbers and we're going to order them from least to greatest. Well, we forgot to write some of them down. I know this is 10, this is a negative 9. Let's go write the square root of 24. I'm just going to put 4.90. 4.9. And negative 4/3, I know what it is, but if you don't, I'm going to show you how to change it to a decimal. Negative alpha y equals 4/3. Oops, not 1. If you hit enter, it's not going to do anything for you. All it's going to do is simplify the fraction. Yes? If you want to turn it to a decimal, I need y'all to listen. You're going to hit the math button. So everybody go put in negative 4/3. Everybody go put in negative 4/3. And then hit the math button right here. What option are we going to choose? 2 for decimal. And say, yes, I want you to turn my answer to a decimal. So I owe $1.33. Now we're going to go order these from, what is always the least? Negatives. Remember, negatives are like owing money. And the more money you owe, the less money you have. Yes? These are my only 2 negatives. Which one of these would I owe more? So it is worth the least amount. And then I would write it in its original form. The negative square root of 81 is worth the least. What's next? Negative 4/3. Now I go on to my positive. So out of these 2, which one's smaller? $4.90 or 10? 4. Oh, but I need to write it as its original form. So square root 94, square root 24, and then my last one is square root of 100. Okay, questions on that? Now we're going to just go learn how to type some stuff in our calculator, and then you're done. Okay? So, on this one, how would I put this in my calculator? 11 minus the square root of 81. So, 11 minus the square root of 81 is positive 2. 12 plus the square root of 36. Y'all should be able to do that in your head. The square root of 36 is 6. What's 12 plus 6? 18. All right, the square root of 225 minus 1. Oh, look what I did wrong. What did I do wrong? I put the 1 under the radical. Is it under the radical here? So my answer is wrong. I needed to do the square root of 225, and now what? I got to arrow out, tab out, and then hit minus 1, which is? So be careful with that. All right, now we're going to evaluate. Write that here, evaluate. What does evaluate mean? That means they're going to give us the value of x or y or whatever variable it is. It says, what is negative 7 times the square root of x if x is 36? So I simply say, okay, well, what is negative 7 times the square root? Instead of x, I'm going to put, and my answer is negative 42. This one, everybody look. What is it called when there's a line like this? Can I use alpha y equals? So I go to alpha y equals. I'm going to put the square root of x on top, and x is 36. I'm going to go to the bottom and put 6. Now I'm going to arrow out of that, and I'm going to put plus 9. And my answer is, all right, y'all got it? All right, I'm going to pass out your assignment. Okay, your assignment is exactly like your notes. So please use your notes to refer back to. On 1 through 3, it says write the number as a power. So you just in your head square root it, right? But don't write the square root of it. If you just put 6 on number 1, that's not a power, right? Okay, 4 through 9 says evaluate the expression. That means just put it in your calculator. 10 through 19, now this one is specific. It says approximate the square root to the nearest. If you round to the tenths or hundreds or thousands, it's wrong. An integer is, it's a whole number, either positive or, so you're rounding to that one's place value. Okay, order the numbers from. I want, when you have your final answer, them written in their original form. Look at my notes. I did not write negative square root of 81 as negative 9, did I? Write it as its original number. Okay? 24, 25, 26. Are we going to label our answers?
Yes.
Guys, they're easy questions. Okay? Number 24 is literally one of the ones we did on our notes today. Flip to the back. On the back, you're just going to fill out the chart. You're going to check mark all that apply. What are you going to use? Your notes to refer to. And at the bottom, you're just evaluating, so you're just plugging in the number for X. That's it. Okay? Now, you do have a test over this unit on Tuesday, so we'll review on Monday. If you are struggling, I highly suggest you take the notes that we've learned so far and go through them this weekend. Or go back and watch the videos where you feel like you need the extra help. Okay? All right, you may start.